This is India Tonight right here on ET Now. Let's straight to the top story that we're tracking this evening. After suffering humiliating setbacks in Delhi and Bihar, the BJP has made a stunning political comeback to firmly cement its position as the only national party of consequence. The Saffron party stormed to power in Assam, marking its first electoral success in the northeast. The Congress has been thrown out of power in not just Assam but also Kerala, signalling a complete loss of credibility.
What these state elections also highlight is the rise of regional satraps, the kingmakers really. The Mamata Banerjee and J. Jayalalitha managed to beat anti-incumbency and have been voted back to power with actually better margins. Mamata's margin of victory has stunned political observers. Jayalalitha has created history by being the first Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu since MGR to be voted back to power, and that is in 22 years. The national impact on Indian politics and also Indian economy of these state assembly elections is a top story right here on India Tonight.
A clear victory in Assam. The BJP led by Sarbananda and Himanta Biswa scripting history.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी की विकास की जो विचारधारा है, सामान्य मानवी के जीवन में बदलाव लाने का जो अथक प्रयास है, उसको देश की जनता भली भांति सराह रही है, स्वीकार कर रही है।
Proving most poll pundits wrong. The Hindi Heartland Party making inroads into eastern and southern territories. After 33 years of voting alternate governments to power every term, people of Tamil Nadu making history. AIADMK Supremo J. Jayalalitha back as the Chief Minister of the state.
I intend to show my gratitude in the form of the actions I will take after forming the government again. I will strive to fulfill all the promises we have made to the people in our election manifesto.
Congress, which has two states, have lost both the states.
We have to concede defeat in Kerala.
भारतीय राष्ट्रीय कांग्रेस पांचों राज्यों में दिए गए जनादेश को सर झुकाकर स्वीकार करती है.
If there is one party whose graph has been consistent since the Lok Sabha polls, it is the Congress. And the graph just went down further. Loss of power in two states, leading to a bigger loss of face for the National Party. Congress's annihilation even threatening to destroy the political fortunes of those who join hands with it.
If the friends, common friends, if they like to sit together, I'll be very happy. As a small people, I can help them.
Who are your friends?
There are so many, even Chandra Babu Naidu is also my friend. Who are not? Even this Telangana Chief Minister, then Kejriwal ji, then Naveen Patnaik, Mayawati, Mullah, all Lalu Nitish, I didn't have any quarrel with them.
Rahul Gandhi took to social media to say Congress accepts the verdict of the people with a promise to work harder. But what about accountability? So if this isn't the wake-up call that the Congress needs, then what is the National Party waiting for?
All right, so just how big an election win was this for the BJP, and will the strong performance rejuvenate the cadre of the Saffron Party? Will this form a base for another victory? Because remember, up ahead are very crucial elections in Punjab and of course the most important one of Uttar Pradesh. Gauri Dwivedi, who's been tracking all the mania outside the BJP headquarters, joins in as well live on India Tonight, where Prime Minister Modi, of course, spent just a couple of hours congratulating his troops. Gauri, a strong message sent by the BJP.
Messaging has been, or the right messaging has been, a very, very key part of the Prime Minister's communication strategy, and which is why today when the PM walked into the BJP office today, he was wearing a traditional white and red Assamese stole, sending the message that Assam is the next big frontier, the bastion that has now been conquered by the BJP. It was a very short address that the PM gave to the workers, but definitely meant to enthuse the cadre. Remember, it is actually a very significant RSS cadre base in Assam, which worked in the party's favour. So the messaging, of course, was to enthuse the cadre. Remember, there are three very big elections, at least two very big elections lined up next year, and it has to be the worker, the cadre, that really has to perform for the BJP. Modi also said that he did, of course, congratulate every party worker who worked towards this very significant victory for Assam. And now, of course, all eyes will be on the mega elections of Punjab, where BJP faces massive anti-incumbency, and the mother of all elections, Uttar Pradesh, in early 2017. Remains to be seen whether this momentum will continue or whether PM will have to continue to, of course, push the cadre towards another electoral success.
Thanks for that, Gauri. Now let's take it across to a panel. It's an unbeatable panel, really, of top commentators and experts. Arnab Goswami, Editor-in-Chief of Times Now and ET Now. Swaminathan Iyer joining us live from Washington as well, Consulting Editor of ET Now. Sagarika Ghosh, Consulting Editor of Times of India. And we've got Meghnad Desai as well. Arnab, I want to start with you. How important is this win for the BJP? Is this the beginning of, of the end of the Congress? More importantly, does this in many ways cement the fact that its emergence, so to say, as a truly national party?
I think what really emerges from this election is the complete absence of any bipolarity in Indian politics. And you are correct to that extent that today, if you look at national politics and you look at a scenario leading up to 2019, you have the BJP on the one side and you have pretty much everyone else on the other. And the reason I say everyone else is because there is no one preponderant party among the others, and that certainly cannot be the Congress party. You see, the Congress could have been, the magnet to the anti-BJP coalition, provided it got at least about 150 seats on its own. That's the minimum threshold, in my view, the Congress needs to be in the reckoning. After today's elections, no party in states will do tie-ups with the Congress, because the tie-up with the Congress has been disastrous for the DMK in Tamil Nadu, and has been disastrous for the left and for the Congress itself in West Bengal. So if nobody teams up with the Congress, then the Congress gets reduced to a party which is today ruling 5 small states, and if it evaporates out of Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, then it's really going to become a sub-regional party. So in that sense, simple answer to your question is, we are in a situation today where there is the BJP and every other party. And since the others can be divided into pro-BJP and anti-BJP elements, we're looking at a situation where Narendra Modi is looking good for the rest of his term.
Oh, absolutely. Narendra Modi is looking stunning right now. But Sagarika, I want to come to you on that. You toured all of these states very, very extensively. The results are all out, and it's BJP's come out completely triumphant. The question, though, is has the BJP dislodged the Congress as being the national party today? They've not just won Assam. They've been the spoiler in Kerala. They've managed to open accounts in Tamil Nadu and West Bengal, states they were completely absent in. Do you believe we're seeing the emergence of BJP as the one and only national party right now, with Congress relegated to the margins, being a largely regional player?
I think if you look at it, Supriya, you're absolutely right. The BJP is the national party #1 at the moment. There's no doubt about that. I think the Congress cannot really be in denial. I think it must accept that the position that the Congress once had as the central force in Indian politics, I think that perhaps now belongs to the BJP. The BJP began in the North Indian Hindi belt. It then moved westward to Gujarat. And now we can see that it's moved eastward, and it has, as you were pointing out, that double-digit vote share in both Kerala and in West Bengal. So I think the BJP is the #1 national party at the moment, and I think the Congress should not be in denial about that. I think this is a very serious wake-up call for the Congress. These wake-up calls are keeping on happening, and we are keeping on voicing the need for introspection. But I think the Congress really needs to go back to the drawing board now and see whether its leadership is being able to lead it in this very, very competitive and tough political environment that the BJP has created. It fights elections with a hunger that journalists have not seen in the Congress. I travelled in Tamil Nadu, and I found that the BJP did not really have that much at stake in Tamil Nadu, but it was fighting the elections with a massive energy and a massive hunger. The BJP has the hunger to be a national party. It has the hunger to fight elections, which the Congress simply does not have. You know, the example is drawn of Gujarat. The BJP is supposed to be declining in Gujarat after 20 years, but can the Congress defeat the BJP in Gujarat? Is there any state in India today where the Congress can defeat the BJP in a direct fight? I think that is the question that the Congress has to ask itself. So yes, in answer to your question, I think as far as the BJP is concerned, it is the #1 party at the moment.
Hold your thoughts there, because I want to get in Swami here. And Swami, I'm wondering if the distance makes you a little more objective about this whole thing. Do you agree with that assessment? We are seeing the decimation of the Congress, the rise of Narendra Modi and the BJP.
No, there's no question that this particular state elections, they have given Modi some momentum and some direction. I would not exaggerate it. Assam is a very small state. It's a kind of token that, the BJP has got something in West Bengal, something in Kerala, but it's really very little. Right now, nothing has changed in regard to the Rajya Sabha, I would say. Virtually nothing has changed. So I think, yes, momentum has gone in Modi's favor. He has changed the adverse momentum after the loss in Delhi and Bihar, and that's something. But I would still expect that in 2019, the BJP will lose a whole lot of seats. This is because it won 73 seats out of 80 last time in UP. It can't possibly repeat that. That kind of sweep it had in Rajasthan, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh. In all these areas, I would expect Congress to be able to bounce back up to a point. So I think the decimation of the Congress, yes, they are in serious trouble. It can bounce back. I would be very surprised if it can cross the 100 mark next time. But can it increase on its current 44? I think it is possible, especially in these states. However, the fact is that they are in very serious trouble because this is a party that has no real beliefs and no real cadres. So all the activities of the Congress have been dependent on large sums of money being handed out. And right now, where are they going to get money from? They only rule one major state, Karnataka. So how are they going to pay all those cadres who are used to living on that gravy train? I don't know. Equally, it's quite clear that while some of analysts in Delhi got very excited when Rahul Gandhi talked about suited, booted Modi, the fact is that a phrase or two like this makes no difference whatsoever. The question is, what does Congress stand for? And the answer is, once upon a time, it said, we stand for everybody. And at the time of the independence movement, that was perhaps correct. It covered every region, every caste, every community. Today, every caste, every community, every region is throwing up its own party. So if there are caste-based parties, region-based parties, religion-based parties, then the question is, whom does Congress represent? And if it only represents the Gandhi family and nothing else, it has a problem. I think one of the biggest problems that Sonia now faces is it cannot quell rebellions and defections.
Sure,
we saw this large-scale defection in Assam. We saw a large-scale defection in Himachal right now. In Tamil Nadu, the party is
Swami, just to interrupt,
so, there is no ability of the party of Sonia Gandhi to discipline the party in the different regions.
Absolutely. So, Swami, I think
see that there's a sinking
Just to interrupt you, Swami, for a second, I think you spoke about the fact that possible, there's a fact that the party could break up. That's a possibility as well that a lot of experts are talking about. I want to bring in Meghna Desai as well, has been waiting by patiently. Professor Desai, what does this election really say about the Congress party? You heard the views of our three panelists, Arnab, Sagarika, and Swami as well. It hasn't been able to arrest that fall after 2014. Bihar was a bit of a bonus, and largely because it rode the Nitish wave, so to say. Is it fair to say that the party is heading towards complete decimation?
Yes, I think so. Congress has done no homework on why they lost in 2014. All they wanted to say was it wasn't Rahul's fault. All they're already saying that about today as well. It's not Rahul's fault. But they had to rebuild the party. They had to really get grips with local alliances. And in Assam, they tried dynastic politics. And that really failed. Now, they only have got Karnataka now as a major state. Nowhere else is Congress in power in any major state. So I think Congress, this is actually the end game for Congress. And unless a miracle happens and Rahul Gandhi resigns and Sonia Gandhi resigns and they have a new leadership, which is not going to happen, they will decimate themselves. You don't need Narendra Modi to decimate them. They'll decimate themselves.
Swami, I know we've got to give disproportionate time to the Congress party, but I want to get in a quick word from you on the BJP and its victory in Assam as well, because, you know, you can see Amit Shah and the Prime Minister Modi, in the hogging much of the limelight, whereas much of the credit probably goes to Sarbananda Sonowal. And in many ways, one would say the BJP has learned from its mistakes, because we saw very little of Prime Minister Modi in Assam during these elections. Is that a template that has worked for them? And Swami, do you see them replicating this in other states as well? Find local leaders?
If you can get them, but if you go to Uttar Pradesh, for instance, the traditional BJP leadership there does not have a high credibility or reputation at all. I mean, what is Rajnath Singh's status in Uttar Pradesh or Kalraj Mishra? Nothing, not very much. So, and if you look at the new bunch of guys, they are untested. You have Arun Gandhi trying to come up, and yet in some sense he doesn't really represent the traditional BJP. He's very much part of the elite. He's like a Congress defector rather than a grassroots RSS kind of people. So I said, it depends on what the local guys are. Now, in Uttar Pradesh, the Congress is going to have a problem. I think Prashant Kishore, our great expert out there, has decided that it might be a good idea to project either Rahul or maybe even Priyanka as chief minister. Ideas that, give some different idea, some different imagemanship, as how is the party different from what it has been all this time. They need to rack their brains on that. But as I said, structurally, I think they have a problem. And the structural problem really is, whom do you represent?
Right. Swami, hold your thoughts there, because I want to get Sagarika back into this. And Sagarika, the question that we posed to Swami, and I'm going to ask you the same question. There was a debacle of sorts in Bihar and Delhi. The BJP seemed to have learnt its lessons rather well and very fast, if I may, because look at Assam, how they tackled that state. They got a local leader, they focused on local issues, and presto, they did actually win those elections. Do you believe that's a template they will use going forward, at least in the crucial states, the very, very populous Punjab, and of course the mother of all electoral battles, Uttar Pradesh?
Where is the accountability in the Congress? When Tarun Gogoi lost the election, when the Congress lost in 2014, where was the accountability? Where do people take the flak? Why did the Congress leadership then persist with Tarun Gogoi and his son and lose Hemanta Biswal Sharma, who is seen as the main organization man? He's a congressman and he left the Congress because he was so badly treated. So it seems that there's a lack of accountability in the Congress. You get defeated, you don't have to pay for your mistakes. You just carry on, and so your mistakes get compounded. But as far as your question about UP is concerned, that's a very good point. Is the BJP going to learn from how it won Assam and go in for a similar kind of method in UP? I very much doubt that, because there the build-up has been so communally polarizing. The rhetoric has been very extremist. We've seen the love jihad, the ghar wapasi, the Muzaffarnagar, the rhetoric in Muzaffarnagar. So we really don't know whether the BJP will learn from this kind of template in Assam. The stakes are very high in UP. But what is clear, Supriya, is that voters are showing that they do not want communal rhetoric, they do not want polarization. Yes, there was a subtle anti-migrant message that was being sent in Assam as well. Yes, there was a Hindu consolidation behind the UP, but it wasn't overt, it wasn't surcharged communal rhetoric, and perhaps that is something the BJP needs to learn, that doesn't work with voters.
Arnab, I want to come to you, and the larger question there really is that the Congress has done precious little to its allies when it has come together. I mean, Bihar was perhaps the only exception, but Congress was not the main catalyst in that alliance. My question really is, do you believe going forward, the fallout of today's mandate is going to be that the Congress is going to struggle for alliances, especially in a state like Uttar Pradesh, where they're trying to flirt with, they're trying to woo Mayawati? Is that going to be a tall order indeed?
Well, I think that's a good follow-up question. In Punjab, what this means is that the Aam Aadmi Party will now go even more aggressively to take over that space. Nature abhors a vacuum. And some of the fallout of this sense of despair and loss of the Congress party will also show in Punjab. As far as Uttar Pradesh is concerned, which is a very, very critical state, for every party, not just the Congress party, I think we can kiss the idea of Mayawati teaming up with the Congress party goodbye. That's not going to happen. After what happened in Uttarakhand, we saw Harish Rawat say thank you to Mayawati and almost announce a possible tie-up with Mayawati. Mayawati has already been bitten badly once by tying up with the Congress party, and the Congress was unable to transfer its share. If the Congress party is to tie up with the Mayawati for the UP elections, it's only going to be a party that is gasping for survival. And the Congress party will not just be a junior, but an ultra-junior ally of the BSP if that were to happen. So I think times are going to be really tough for the Congress party in their hunt for alliances.
Swami, in a sense, is this verdict or the series of verdicts, if you see it in the context of what happened in Bihar as well, will this potentially bring the anti-Modi bloc together? If so, who will be the driving force of such an alliance? You know, people keep throwing up the name of Nitish Kumar. Now Mamata Banerjee can legitimately stake claim to be a national leader as well. Does this weaken the anti-Modi bloc or does it strengthen the anti-Modi bloc? How do you read this?
There is an anti-Modi bloc in a state election, and there would be a completely different kind, perhaps, of an anti-Modi bloc in a national election. The kinds of people who might not be against Modi in a state election or may not be strongly against him, if they scent opportunity in the center, they will go with him. If they don't scent opportunity, they may go in the opposite direction. People like Mamata, people like Jayalalitha, in a national election, they could go with Modi or against Modi. So I think you might find that an anti-Modi bloc can come up in the national elections and can give significant headaches to Mr. Modi. As I said, I would definitely expect that in some states like Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, and so on, he will do worse in 2019. I have very little doubt that they will not be able to get as many seats as they got last time. I'm sure they'll get fewer seats. But if the gains are mainly to some regional parties and Congress only makes some 20, 30 seats extra, that would still put the BJP in a good position to come back to power, even if it's slightly short of a majority. I mean, even if it loses 75 seats, it would be within handshaking distance of power. And so I said, it will come back. I think there can be anti-Modi combinations in a national election, which could be reasonably strong, which could erode its vote in several states.
The broader economy impact of these state elections as well, and get closing comments from all our panelists. Arnab, to you first. I understand this mandate is not going to significantly change the dynamics in the Rajya Sabha, but does it give the BJP more confidence to push through reforms, and especially the fact that Congress perhaps has lost some amount of political legitimacy to be an obstructionist party?
Well, I certainly see the AIDMK and the Trinamool Congress already begin to say that with certain riders, they are likely to pass the GST. So, yes, in that sense, the sense of victory is around the BJP. Second point is everybody does calculations looking ahead at the future. Consider this, that the Trinamool Congress and the AIDMK do about 80% as well as they have done now. They would end up with 65 to 70 seats in the next Lok Sabha. They had about 74, 75 seats in the last Lok Sabha. Their relevance will be greater if the BJP falls short of the halfway mark. So if the BJP in the next election goes around in the early 200s, these two parties will be critical to putting, the numbers for a government through. They could even be in government. In this given situation, it is very important to understand that since investments happen on the whole idea of stability of a political leadership, I think we are seeing a steady political leadership emerge right now. Unless some cataclysmic event happens, Rahul Gandhi transforms, metamorphoses, and leads the Congress party to 150 plus, we're looking at a stable political environment. So in terms of governance, I think many parties which might have not played footsie so far with the BJP will now get into working with them on an issue-by-issue basis. This will reflect in decisions, government decisions, legislative decisions, and what happens in Parliament. So in Parliament, it won't be Anand Sharma alone who's going to be calling the shots anymore.
Indeed, he won't be, and let's hope and keep our fingers crossed that some more footsie is going to be placed in Parliament. But Sagarika, very quickly, we haven't seen BJP make the open overtures that NDA one made to some of the potential allies. Jayalalitha for one, a natural ally, but we haven't seen them talk so much with each other in Parliament. Mamata for one, I know they've had an uneasy relationship in the past, but no open relationship right now. Do you believe the fact that they've both come back with such stunning numbers is going to change that dynamic? Will we see, a far more reaching out? And can they actually take the role of the key opposition right now?
Again, that's an excellent insight. I mean, that really is going to be the future. The Congress having vacated the opposition space to some extent, who will fill the opposition space to the BJP remains the big question. Before I come to that, I just want to address a little bit about parliamentary behavior. This government should be magnanimous in its victories. It's won a massive Lok Sabha mandate. It's now won these big victories across India. It must be a little more magnanimous, a little more warm-hearted, a little more large-hearted as far as the Congress is concerned. If you do a Google search of images of Sonia Gandhi and Vajpayee, you'll see many of them. If you do a Google search of Sonia Gandhi and Narendra Modi, you don't see them together at all. The fact is, one tea party with Sonia Gandhi is not going to help. You're going to have to reach out to the Congress. You denied the Congress the leader of the Lok Sabha. You denied the Congress. You've denied the Congress the respect in Parliament often. You refer to relatives in Italy. The Prime Minister himself says, I don't have relatives in Italy in a campaign rally. There's a lot of name calling of the Gandhi family that comes even from senior ministers in Parliament. Now, this kind of hostile, pugilist, tu meh that the government itself engages in really doesn't befit this massive mandate it got in 2014 and also all these mandates it's got now. It really has to be a little more magnanimous and has to reach out to the Congress and not always be in fighting mode and always be in pugilist mode. Who is going to take over the opposition space? You're absolutely right. It's not going to be the Congress. It's going to be the Federal Front. It is going to be one of the regional parties. It's increasingly clear is going to take over the opposition space. But who will that be? That's an open question.
That's a big question, but I'm going to get this discussion and steer it back to politics, from politics on to economy, because that is what we are very interested in. And Professor Desai, before I let you go, do you believe the BJP now has the political mandate behind it? May not have the Rajya Sabha numbers still, but has the political mandate behind it to push through key legislation?
I think, that psychologically what's now happened is that Congress no longer is a viable alternative for 2019. Even at the head of a coalition. Actually, everywhere Congress went in alliance, they harmed the major party they went in alliance with. So I think Congress is no longer there. And therefore the sentiment in Rajya Sabha will change. People will no longer think they have to play up to Congress, to play with Congress. And that change in sentiment, nobody would have any loyalty anymore, and they'll do their own thing according to their own interest. And it's always good to side with the national government.
Swaminathan Iyer, I'll let you have the last word on this show then. What's your sense? I know you've been fairly critical of some of the economic policies of this government. How is one supposed to read this? How do you think foreign investors will read this verdict? Will this embolden the government to push through the kind of reforms that people have been looking for? Or do you think it'll be business as usual in New Delhi?
No, this government is not a radical reformer. This government has not been just waiting with bated breath to have an opportunity to suddenly do a big bang. No, it's not that kind of government. So it has been what they call pervasive, encompassing incrementalism. And that incrementalism, I think, what we will continue to see. I think if they've got Jaya and Mamta on board, then the GST should be able to go through. I think the Congress by itself will no longer be able to check that. In this last session of Parliament, I think a record number of bills was actually passed. And this is an improvement, a distinct improvement in what was happening earlier, and may reflect the current atmosphere to a certain extent. So I would say yes. The BJP is going to have an easier time going ahead. It will be able to do more. I would, however, warn optimists not to think that the BJP is going to charge ahead with many radical reforms. It is not that kind of party.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.